Hi, welcome to Yoga Basics, and we are on week 3 of this weekly session. For this practice, you'll want to have 2 yoga blocks, a strap, and maybe a folded blanket to sit on as we begin. And I say maybe because it depends on how you're choosing to sit. If you're bringing the legs out in front in some sort of seated cross-legged position, you may want to elevate your sitting bones, sit towards the front edge of the folded blanket, to allow your knees to drop open more easily. So I wanted to highlight the 4th of the 8 limbs of yoga as described by the sage Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras. I mentioned before that there are these 8 limbs or aspects, and asana, which is the yoga physical postures, is the 3rd limb. Now the 4th limb is called pranayama, and prana means vital life force energy, and yama means control. So pranayama is the practice of regulating your vital life force energy, or prana, through different breathing techniques by regulating the breath. So whenever we are in some emotional state, whether it be anxiety or some sort of stress response, you can notice that one of the first things to react in your human system is the breath. The breath is one of the first things to change, whether it starts to become rushed and shallow, irregular, or difficult to breathe. So as we become more skillful at first, becoming aware of the breath, because it's happening all the time, it's easy to not even pay attention to it. And second, how to skillfully affect your energy, whether you're wanting to uplift your energy, feel more energetic, like if you're feeling sleepy, or if you want to feel more grounded, if you're feeling a stress response triggered, you want to feel more present so that you can have a clear sense of perception. You can also use other breathing techniques. And then there's other ones that help to balance left and right hemispheres of the brain and so on. We won't get into all of that now. But we have been practicing one particular breathing technique in each of these Yoga Basics classes, and it's called victorious breathing. In Sanskrit, it's Ujjayi Pranayama. Today, I'd like to dissect how you actually synchronize moving your body to regulating a slow, steady breath using Ujjayi Pranayama. We'll talk more about that when we're physically moving the body, but it can sometimes feel overwhelming when you're in a vinyasa flow class, which means a breath-led movement yoga style. When the instructor is inhale, do this, exhale, do this, inhale, do that. And it can sometimes feel confusing, like how long do I need to breathe in and which am I folding, am I whatever. So today we're going to really dive deeper into the details of coordinating your moving your body to your steady, calm breath. So let's begin. As you're sitting tall, feel what you're sitting on and begin to slowly shift your weight side to side along the left and right of your pelvis until you can find a balanced pressure down through both left and right sitting bones. And from that sense of rooting down, invite a lifting energy up from the bottom of your spine. You can imagine there, tracing your mind's eye slowly up through each vertebra as you're lengthening up through the back of your skull and through the crown of your head. And then feel your shoulders. Are they relaxed? Let them soften down as you're broadening your chest. Feel your lower belly. Slightly draw in your lower belly. So you're very gently engaging it to help lift up the lower spine from the pelvis. So now notice how your body feels. You might begin at your feet. Notice any sensations you're experiencing there. And then slowly in your mind's eye, visualizing your legs and eventually to the top of your head as you're observing the sensations. So this process is about just becoming more present with what you're experiencing in your body and accepting what is as it is right now. Now bring that same observation to your breathing without changing the way that you're breathing. You might notice where you can most easily sense the breath in your body, landing your awareness there. Begin to feel things like the movement of the breath, the pace. And what are the qualities of your breathing right now telling you about how you feel in the moment, energetically, mentally, and emotionally? And with that, bring your attention to any kinds of thoughts that might be repeating in your mind or have been repeating, as well as noticing any emotions that you're experiencing right now. So now that we've done a check-in through our different layers of being, let's start to slow down the breath. So inhaling through your nose, invite the inhale to deepen very gently, feeling that expansion in your rib cage. And then through your lips, slowly exhale. Feel how the belly relaxes inward towards your spine. Maybe a little bit slower as you inhale through the nose again. Letting the breath expand into your belly and rib cage. Feeling the back ribs, the side ribs, the front ribs, the chest. And then even slower exhaling through your lips. Maybe starting to whisper the breath out where you can hear it. Find the very bottom of the exhalation. And on the next breath, even slow it down some more and see if you can pause, hold the breath in at the very top without rushing to get there, taking your time. And when you do, hold it in for a few seconds and just feel how your body is holding that breath. And when you're finished exhaling, just as slowly, taking your time. Also at the bottom of the breath, holding it out for a few seconds and notice any different sensations here. And then try that one more time on your own, holding the breath in and holding the breath out, increasing the space between both ends. Yoga Sutra 2.52 in Book 2 says, as a result of practicing pranayama, breath control, the veil over the light, the inner light within us, is destroyed. So clarity arises. When you've practiced pranayama consistently over a long duration of time, and Yoga Sutra 2.53 says, then the mind becomes fit for concentration. So through that practice of pranayama, of destroying the veil that covers the inner light, that dilutes clarity, then we're more able to meditate. So take a moment to clarify, what is your intention for your practice today? It could be about any aspect of your life, anything that you want to invite into your experience. And in the practice of letting go of any specific outcome or clinging to a particular outcome, I invite you to offer up your efforts to someone that you care about. So call to mind anyone that you might like to dedicate today's practice to. And maybe gesturing gratitude and union by joining the hands in prayer at your heart. Let's join our voices together, beginning the practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little bit deeper. Bow in towards the light within you, your own inner guidance. And as you softly blink your eyes open, if you are sitting cross-legged, I invite you to switch the shin that is in front or on top, just to even out the stretch in your hips as we sit just a little bit longer. So let's begin to control the breathing and move into the practice, as I mentioned, Ujjayi Pranayama. So I invite you to place a hand on your chest, a hand on your lower belly, so that you can invite the breath to expand into both palms and even around the sides and the back of that region. We're going to, if it's possible for you, to close the lips and only breathe in and out through your nose. This is a warming breathing style. It helps to get the body ready to move. So keeping the lips closed, and at the same time, imagine you're creating a narrow straw at your throat by softly constricting it, like you're almost about to snore, but not that harsh of a constriction. So that as you're slowing down the breathing, you can invite a very soft, not forceful, but gentle and smooth whispering sound that you can listen to. It's not so loud that somebody across the room can hear, but it's something that you can listen to, and it's meditative, it's subtle. It takes some effort to really pay attention to. So with that, I'm going to count to 4 as we inhale through the nose, and from 4 as we exhale through the nose. We'll try that 3 rounds, and then we'll increase to a count of 5 in both directions until you'll take over and remove the counting and just feel the balance and sustaining of the in and out breaths. So listen to the whispering sound as a way to gauge that you are balancing the calmness in the breath with a steadiness in the breath. It's not like this, right? It's not an abrupt or forceful breathing. It's very smooth. I don't know if you can even hear that on my microphone. Very smooth. So you really want to stretch it out and pace yourself and not inhale everything at the beginning. All right, so let's try 4 counts each way first, and then we'll increase to 5. So hand at the chest, hand at the belly, maybe close the eyes so that you can focus on feeling the breath in your palms and surrounding those areas. So exhale to prepare. Pause a moment. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Increasing. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count a couple more cycles on your own and listen to the qualities, the sound of your breath. And when we start to move the body to the breath, keep tracking that sound. Keep paying attention to it. Keep inviting that very smooth quality and that gentle whisper. So as you keep that steady rhythm, keep listening to it and come on up to stand. As you're still listening to it, please place your blocks in front of your mat on their tallest height, shoulders distance apart. Step about a foot behind the blocks where your feet are hips distance apart. Keep listening to the breath. Spread your toes wide on the ground and press down firmly through your big toe, pinky toe mounds, and the center of your heels. So there's a tripod. Stack your shins on top of the center of your heels. Keep listening to the breath. Place your fingers on your frontal hip bones. Feel that. And then place your fingers on the back to pelvic bones as well, and try to level them in height. So the frontal hip bones are not higher or lower than the back two bony parts of your pelvis. So even them out, ground to the feet, and then soften in the bottom of your front ribs. Open up the chest, spread your collarbones wide, relax the shoulders down, and then lift up through the back of your neck, the back of your skull. Gaze directly at eye level towards the horizon, and then let your arms rest by your sides with your palms facing your thighs. Keep listening to your breath for 3 more cycles, standing here in Tadasana, which means mountain pose. All right, I'm going to count the breath pace again. The inhale for 5, the exhale for 5, as we're moving. So you want to initiate with a breath. Don't start moving until you've started the inhalation. So begin inhaling, 1, raise the arms, 2, 3, 4, 5, bend the knees. Exhale, bow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into the blocks. Inhale, lengthen for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, bow, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin the inhale, 1, rising up, 2, 3, arms overhead, 4, 5. Exhaling, hands down to the heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's how we're pacing, linking the movement to the breath. Let the whole movement last the entire duration of the in-breath or the out-breath. And in general, just a rule of thumb, all the times when your body feels like you're expanding or you're rising up, those are generally inhalations in a vinyasa folk class. Anytime you're contracting or you're bowing in or lowering down, those are usually exhalations. So let's take a few half sun salutations, really listening to the breath and feeling how you're initiating with the breath and continuing all the way with the movement. So linking movement and breath, vinyasa flow. 3 half sun salutations, Ardha Surya Namaskar. Starting in mountain pose, join your hands at your heart. So this is actually the beginning position for all of the sun salutations. Hands in prayer in mountain pose, which is called Padasana. So let's prepare, exhale this breath. Inhale, raise the arms for 1, 2, 3, 4. Peak of the breath here. Exhale, bow from the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into the blocks. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, bow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise to stand for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Join the hands to the heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, arms slowly. Follow the very top of the breath. Exhale, bow slowly. Take the whole duration of the exhalation. Inhale, press the blocks and lengthen the full length of the in-breath. Exhale, bow the full length of the out-breath. Inhale, rise the full length of the in-breath, arms overhead. Exhale, slowly the hands to the heart, the full length of the exhalation. One last time, inhale, arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward in Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward in Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow again, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Listen to your breath. Take your time. Exhale, hands joining towards the heart in Padasana. Pause here, maybe close the eyes and allow a few more deep Ujjayi breaths. Scanning your body, notice how it feels. So sun salutations are meant to get us moving in opposite directions. We're lifting up, we're folding forward, and then we're going to add even more as we move into sun salutation C. So this is the process of physically warming up, but it is also a moving meditation when you are focusing on regulating your breath and synchronizing your body to the breath. It's a way of concentrating. So we're going to move into sun salutation C, but before we link movement and breath, let's go through it slowly and just remember what the postures are in the sequence. So start in mountain pose with hands together at your heart. Full breath here. Exhale it out. We'll start, inhale the arms forward and up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, as you're bowing from your hips, try to keep your hips above your heels instead of going behind the heels. So you have to bend the knees, bend the knees. And then this time, place your hands outside of your heels. If the ground is too low for you to place your hands there, place the blocks there and use them as platforms. Step the left knee behind you, entering Anjaneyasana with the hands staying down. So this is a kneeling lunge. Pause and keep listening to your breath here. Keep regulating deep breaths. See that your bent knee, your right knee, is directly above your right heel, not in front of the heel like this. This can be too much pressure on the knee joint. So making sure front knee right on top of the heel, lower belly is engaging inward, even though the hands are down. We're not sinking the belly to rest on the front thigh. We're pushing off the right foot and drawing in the belly, lifting the chest, and the gaze is upwards. We're opening up the throat. So one more full breath here. Feel this posture in your body. Anjaneyasana with the hands down. Now set your hands flat on the floor and let's enter kneeling plank pose to start. So as you're spreading your fingers wide and flat, see that your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders. And your index fingers are pointing directly forward or slightly turned out, which can give the front of the shoulders a little more opening if you need it. Now, in plank pose with the knees down, your knees are directly under your hips. Otherwise, you can practice with legs straight. And if you do, make sure your pelvis is not pointing up nor sinking down like this, right? You want to actively press your inner heels back like you're pushing them against the wall so that the muscles in your legs feel awake. And you're creating like a plank of wood, a long straight line through the center line of your body, engaging the abdomen. So in whatever plank pose you're choosing, allow one more deep breath. Now the next posture is to place the knees down first. This is called Ashtangasana, where you bend the elbows back and feel that they're grazing your side ribs. Make sure the elbows are not flaring apart, right? So point the elbows behind you so they touch the sides of your ribs, and begin to lower your chest to the ground. As you're lowering, try to draw the shoulders away from your neck. Not shoulders shrugging, but shoulders away from the neck. Now, as you lower your chest, lower your chin, so you're gazing towards the front of your mat. Pause here and try to take another breath or two. I know it's a little more challenging, this pose. This is called Ashtangasana. It's a back bend like cobra. The tailbone is sticking up, the elbows are hugging in. From here, we enter cobra pose by sliding the belly forward so the legs straighten. And your heels of your palms land right beside the lowest ribs of your rib cage. So if you look back, your elbows should be bending pretty much right on top of your wrists. Feel that your toes are spread on the ground and you're actively pressing every toenail, including the pinky toenails, into the floor. This action helps to stabilize your lower back. You're rooting down and lengthening the tailbone towards your inner heels. So as you keep those things happening and the elbows continue to hug close to your side ribs, keep your hands still, but imagine how it would feel to drag your hands back. So don't move the hands, but bring that imagination as you inhale to lift the chest just lightly and look at the floor in front of you. Let's pause for a few breaths in Cobra Pose. Keep hugging the elbows close to your sides. Lengthen the back of your neck and let the shoulder blades slide down your back ribs. Keep pressing your toenails down. One more breath in. Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Now as you exhale, press back to your hands and knees. Make sure your thumbs are stretching towards each other. Your index fingers are stretching forward. Tuck your toes behind you with your feet hips distance apart and push the ground away with your hands so that you can lift your hips as high as you can away from your hands. Like I'm standing at the back of your mat, lovingly pulling your pelvis up towards the sky and back towards the wall behind you. You want to feel that kind of energy of stretching the back of your body. Now, you can bend the knees. If the back starts to round forward, give your hamstrings a little allowance by bending the knees so that you can draw your weight more towards the rear wall. You don't want to be sitting too much on your hands as that can start to hurt in the wrists. So you want to come more from a far angle towards the back wall. Now let the head relax. Inhale, exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now the next step from here is to step your left foot beside your left thumb. Now if your hip flexors are tight, that might be hard to get the foot really far over there. And if that's the case, you can use your left hand and bring the left ankle further forward as you lower the right knee. One thing that one of my private clients, who is practicing with us live right now, does is she lowers her knees and then she steps that left foot forward. So if that's more helpful for you than grabbing the leg, you can do that as well. So once you're here, decide right away if it's helpful to relax your shoulders by placing your hands on your blocks. Otherwise, keep them on the floor. And let's pause a few breaths in kneeling lunge, Anjaneyasana, with your hands staying down. Make sure again that your front knee is bending right on top of the heel, not over bending in front of it. And your gaze is upwards, opening your throat. The back toes stay tucked because when we're moving with the breath, we're not here for very long. And you want to use those back toes to spring forward with. So one more deep breath here in Anjaneyasana. On an exhale, step the right foot forward, hips distance from the left foot and bow. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Then invigorate your legs by pressing your feet down, activating the belly, leaning forward. Take a full inhale to rise, reaching the arms overhead into Urdhva Hastasana. Take the exhalation to bring the hands together into Padasana. Pause, tune into your breath. Now we're going to take side two, one breath each movement. Now, the idea is to regulate your breathing so that it's very slow and smooth, and move your body slowly and smoothly as well. So in the qualities that you are practicing in your breathing, those are the qualities we're inviting into the physical movements. So try to keep them in sync. All right, here we go. We're going to do the second side of Surya Namaskar C, synchronizing the movement to your breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, sweep the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward, take your time. Uttanasana, hands on blocks or the floor. Inhale, step the right knee back, look up, Anjaneyasana. Hold your breath, step into plank, knees down or legs straight. Exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide forward to your stomach, entering cobra, ground the feet and lift the chest. Exhale, press up, tuck your toes, lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward. If you need, lower the knees and then step the right foot forward and look up, kneeling lunge. Exhale, step the left foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms forward all the way to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let's keep going, one more on each side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Listen to the breath. Exhale, initiate with the breath, follow with the movement, forward fold. Place the hands down. Inhale, step left knee back, kneeling lunge, gaze up. Hold your breath, step into your plank pose. Exhale, Ashtangasana, lower knees. Hug the elbows in, lower chest and chin. Inhale, cobra pose, slide to the ground, spread the toenails on the floor and coil your chest up, hugging the elbows in. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips back to downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward beside your left thumb, lower the back knee and gaze up. Exhale, step the right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Take your time to reach the top of the breath. Exhale, hands together at your heart. How are you doing in synchronizing the length of the breath and the length of the movement? Last sun salutation C. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plant the fingertips. Inhale, right knee steps back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath, step into plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide to the floor, cobra pose. Find the peak of the inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, entering downward dog. Inhale, step the right foot beside the right thumb, lower the left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step the left foot forward and bow. Pace with the breath. Inhale, rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Pause for 3 breaths and just notice the qualities of your breathing now and how you're feeling mentally and physically. Other benefits of sun salutations like this one is, as you might be able to feel, they're energizing. They help to wake you up. So they can be a quick practice you do in the morning to help you become more alert mentally and more mobile in your body. They help to circulate blood flow, which helps that waking up, your circulation, and it helps even your respiration, right? You really need to allow deeper breaths and coordinate your movement to that. So also mental alertness. And then with that, let's come on down to our hands and knees, and we're going to continue breath-led movement in cat-cow pose. So spread your fingers, stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. But for cat-cow, step your knees about 2 inches behind your hips. This will give the torso a little more space to move around as we flex and extend the spine. Now, start with exhaling this breath. Initiate with a breath in and take the full gliding the chest forward, rolling the shoulders back. Inhalation into cow pose. Take the full exhalation, contracting the belly, slowly dropping the head to round the back. Find the bottom of the exhale at cat pose. Inhale again, chest gliding forward, pacing yourself. So when you reach the top of cow, you have reached the top of the breath. Exhale, follow the movement, rounding the back. When you reach the peak of cat pose, you reach the bottom of the exhale. And just like that, tune into 3 more cat cows, listening to your breath. Let's meet in child's pose, bringing the inner edges of your big toes together to touch. You can choose whether to keep your knees together or separate them as wide as you like. Dropping your pelvis down to your heels, resting your forehead on the ground. If your forehead does not easily meet the ground, place any of your props like your folded blanket or block under your forehead. And tune into 3 more breaths. If you're not already, do extend your arms forward. Keep your chest close to the earth and your hips down to your heels. And begin to walk your hands over to the right side, maybe reaching outside of your mat if that's possible, into a side bend. Now, as you imagine breathing deeper along the left side of your rib cage, your whole torso, feel how the muscles between your ribs, your intercostal muscles, stretch as you breathe in, and how they relax as you breathe out. Focusing on that movement for 3 more breaths here, especially along the left side of your rib cage. Then walk your hands through center and reach over to the left. Maybe reaching outside the mat, maybe not, as far as you can comfortably reach. And now focus on breathing more along the right side of your torso. Does the right side of your ribcage stretch as expansively as the left side did? Notice if there are any habits in your breathing, like where your breath goes. If one side feels a little tighter to stretch into with the breath, then you might incorporate into your breath awareness, your daily breath awareness. Just paying more attention to balancing the left and right sides of your ribcage when you're fully inhaling, stretching all the intercostal muscles between the ribs. And this will only benefit you and be able to increase your breath capacity. Come back through center. And now walk your hands towards your knees. Inhale, slowly roll your spine upright. Let's bring the legs out in front of you. Place a block off to the side and a strap off to the side as well. near the back of your mat, and please come to lie down on your back. Let's add in an external rotation of the thigh at the hip, since the sun salutations don't really have that. So rotate your right thigh out, turn it out at the hip, and place your right ankle on your left thigh by the knee. Flex your right foot, which means curl the right toes back towards the right shin. And this helps to contract the muscles surrounding your right knee to stabilize its alignment so that we can focus on the movement here at your right hip joint. Now, keep your left foot on the ground, and with your right palm, gently press the very top inner side of your right thigh to help splay it open. So this is right near your hip crease, not by the knee. We're not pushing into the knee. Relax your shoulders and head down. If you need a pillow for your head, feel free. And then just allow a couple more breaths and notice any sensations that might be coming up for you, especially around your right hip. And if this feels like it's beneficial, you can stay right here. Another variation you can move into is to begin lifting the left foot, threading your right hand between your thighs, and meeting it with a left hand around your left thigh or your left shin, whatever is easier to reach. So that slowly as you're breathing, as you're paying attention to the sensations coming up, not overexerting yourself or looking for wanting to feel some type of a stretch where you're not going overboard, bring the left leg closer. With your right elbow or your right arm, nudge the inner right thigh to keep splaying open. So you want your right kneecap to be pointing towards your right wall, not towards you. This is called thread the needle. It's a supine variation of single pigeon pose. Supine is when you're lying on your back. Let's tune into 3 more breaths. Keep flexing your right foot. Set your 2 feet onto the ground. Just pause a moment. Notice how the left hip and the right hip feel. If there's any difference. Is your breathing the same right now as when you were practicing sun salutations? So come back to that steady, calm breathing and turn out your left thigh at the hip. So you're rotating at the thigh, and by flexing your left foot, you're avoiding lateral rotation in your left knee. There's a little bit of side rotation, but you don't want the main turning out to happen from there. And then use your left palm to gently press the top inner side of your left thigh as you keep the back of your right hip evenly on the ground, evenly as the left hip. And notice if there's anything happening here for you. If your body's really enjoying it, maybe you stay here. Otherwise, you could explore threading the left hand between your thighs and meeting it with the right hand behind your right thigh or in front of your right shin, whatever gives you better access so that you can rest the shoulders down, head stays down too. And as you're slowly bringing the right leg towards you, you're able to point your left kneecap at your left wall. It does not do this, which is towards my face. So you want it to turn out from the thigh. So you're not pushing into the knee because we don't want that side rotation of the kneecap. We want to happen from the hip. So you can nudge the inner side of the left thigh with the left arm as you're bringing the right leg closer. Let's listen to 3 more breaths. And right here, focus on evenly stretching the left and the right walls of your rib cage as you breathe. So this is called lateral breathing. Helping you to use your diaphragm more consciously. And then let's set the 2 feet on the ground, use a block, and let's prepare for one bridge pose on your count of 5 to 10 breaths. So hugging the skinniest width of the block firmly between your knees and thighs. Separate your feet as wide apart as your knees are. With your arms down by your sides, have your heels close enough where you could almost touch them with your fingertips, but not quite. Feel that your feet are not turned out nor turned in. They're parallel to each other. Press down through the big toe, pinky toe, and center of the heels. Press down through the backs of your shoulders and tilt your chin slightly back. Now prepare to lift the pelvis. As you're inhaling, tilt your tailbone up towards the block. Then stretch the tailbone towards the block, lifting your pelvis. As you press down with your feet, without moving them, isometrically drag them towards the heels, which means imagine you're sliding the feet back. So as you do that, you're stretching the fronts of the thighs forward, squeezing the block. Walk the upper arms closer together underneath your back ribs. Keep your arms straight, no bending at the elbows. Only if your hands touch here with the arms straight, you might interlace the fingers. Press the ground away with the outsides of your upper arms to get a little more lift in your chest. Keep tilting the chin back. Focusing on lateral breathing, expanding left and right ribs evenly and sending the breath up to your chest. Bridge pose. So take it on 5 to 10 breaths, and when you're ready to come down with a slow exhalation, linking movement to breath, gently lower your back and pelvis. The Sanskrit name of this posture is Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. When you've lowered your pelvis to the ground, just pause there for a few breaths. Don't do anything, just observe. Really important to pause and observe the different practices of yoga to really see how it's uniquely affecting you in the moment. Let's put the block aside, bend your right knee into your chest, and take your strap, step the ball of your right foot into the strap, and extend your right leg towards the ceiling. Now imagine you're kicking the strap away so there's engagement in your leg muscles. You're flexing the foot. Hold the strap, both ends of it, in your left hand and slide your left leg to the floor. You can bend the right knee if this is too much on your hamstring. Slide your right arm out to the right so it's resting on the ground. The shoulder, gaze towards it and keep it on the floor. Now you can relax the right foot, doesn't have to flex here. Start to cross your right leg slowly to your left side. So you're entering a supine, which means lying on your back, spinal twist. Now only go as deep into the twist where you can still feel that your right shoulder is in contact with the floor. If it's lifted up, you've lost your balance and gotten too far, then you can just come back. All right, let's listen to 3 more breaths here. Slowly roll onto your back. Remove the strap, step the right foot on the ground, step the left foot on the ground, and pause. Notice how you feel, especially around your lower back or any part of your spine. Sense the breath. Bend your left knee into your chest and step the ball of your left foot into the strap. Kick into the strap and pull it, holding both ends of the strap with your right hand. Slide your left leg onto the floor and slide your left arm out to the left. Resting on the ground, gaze towards your left shoulder and make sure the left shoulder stays on the floor. Now you can relax the left foot as you begin to twist, crossing the left leg over your body to your right side. Breathing in Breathing out, listening for that smooth, soft quality in the ujjayi breath. About 3 more breaths here. Slowly roll onto your back. Remove the strap and step both feet on the ground once again. Pause and notice any sensations here, anything different. Gather your knees together into your chest. You might rock side to side, which can massage the back. You might circle the legs. You might separate the legs and draw them back together. Hug your knees together into your chest. Close your eyes and invite a deep inhalation through your nose. Once you get to the top, hold the breath for a few seconds. And when you're ready, exhale to your mouth any sound and let your arms and legs fall to the ground. Splaying out the feet so they're wider apart than your hips distance. Rotate your palms to face the sky and walk the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Lengthen your neck and find a feeling of balance along the left and right sides of your body, symmetry, and close your eyes. Now, as you've let go of controlling your breathing, find the place in your body where you can feel the natural breath again, and let your awareness rest there as your body rests in corpse pose, Shavasana. Let your body remain still and your eyes still closed. Continue to feel your breath naturally flowing. And like we did in the very beginning, I invite you to notice your feet, any sensations there. And on your own, in your mind's eye, begin to scan up throughout your body, eventually to the crown of your head, just observing. What do you notice? Now, important to move very slowly and not do anything abrupt or quick, because we're taking care of our nervous system. We've done a lot to calm it down. So let's nurture that. Start by slowly rubbing your thumbs across your fingertips, feeling the sensations in your hands. And then begin to wiggle your toes, gradually moving into the feet, maybe flexing and pointing or circling your feet. Moving into the hands, circling at the wrists. Stretching the arms slowly. Taking it little by little to be gentle. And as you keep your eyes closed, start to roll over onto your right side. Let your head rest on your arm or pillow or anything like that. Now pause here on your side. Feel the way your body is breathing naturally. And sense how you feel energetically. Then moving very slowly, plant your hands on the floor. Let your head be heavy as you start to lift your torso slowly off the ground, finding a comfortable way to sit upright, maybe sitting on a blanket. We're going to practice 3-part breathing and pause to meditate for 1 minute. So sitting tall, relax the shoulders. In 3-part breathing, imagine that your torso from your pelvic floor to the bottom of your head is a jar. Divide that jar mentally into 3 cross sections. From your belly button down and all around is the first or bottom cross section. Most of your rib cage all around is the second or middle cross section. Your chest, upper back, and neck is the third or uppermost cross section. Now rest your left hand on the top cross section and your right hand on the bottom cross section. And we're going to inhale 1/3 of the breath into the bottom. We'll hold. We'll inhale into the middle, then hold. Then we'll inhale into the top and hold. Then we'll exhale everything really slow through the nose. So the exhalation is like about 9 counts. So really give yourself enough pacing to spread it out. Let's try 3 cycles together and then 2 cycles on your own of Durga Pranayama. This is a relaxing breathing technique. So to prepare, and you might close the eyes to visualize where you're breathing into, exhale everything. Hold the breath. Into the first part, inhale 1/3. Pause. Into the middle, inhale 1/3. Pause. Into the top, inhale 1/3. Pause. Slowly exhale everything out through the nose. Hold it out. Second cycle. Inhale the first third. Pause. Inhale the second third. Pause. Inhale to the top. Hold. Exhale slowly through the nose. Hold. Last one together. Inhale the bottom. Pause. Inhale the middle. Pause. Inhale to the top. Hold. Exhale, draw it out through the nose. Hold at the bottom. Keep going. 2 more cycles on your own. Without rushing, after you finish, breathe naturally and observe anything you feel after that breathing technique. Let's continue to sit in silence for 1 minute of meditation, still paying attention to now your natural breathing. And once again, notice how you're feeling in your mind. What are the thoughts like right now? Notice how you feel in your heart. Are there any emotions alive to notice? And maybe bring your hands together at your heart, a mudra, gesturing gratitude and union. These different layers of your being. And recognize something that you feel gratitude for in this moment. Invite your intention back, mentally saying it or saying it out loud to yourself. Now imagine that person or whomever you dedicated today's practice to, receiving your kindness, benefits of your practice from afar. Together, let's close the practice, chanting Om, primordial sound that resonates within all of life. It's a way of feeling that connection with all of the living around us and within us, life force energy. So 3 Oms, inhale deeply. Bow in, recognizing the light within you, the clarity and the peace that lives within. The light within me honors the light in you. Namaste.